Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Life will test you, not once, not twice, but countless times. The storms will come in different forms: stress that grinds your spirit, tragedies that shake your soul, and losses that leave you standing in silence, wondering why. Most men are taught to hide these battles or drown them in distraction, but here we face them head-on with the courage of the ancients and the discipline of the Stoics. The truth is, stress and tragedy do not define you, they reveal you. They strip away the illusions, exposing your core character. And a man who learns to stand firm in the middle of chaos becomes unshakable, not just for himself, but for everyone who looks to him for strength. In this journey, we will explore not just how to survive these storms, but how to use them to become wiser, calmer, and more powerful. From the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius to the hard lessons of modern life, you'll learn how to turn pain into growth and fear into focus. This is not just theory, it's a way of life for the man who refuses to be broken. If you're ready to master your mind and rise above what tries to crush you, drop your thoughts in the comments and let's begin. Chapter 1: Accepting Reality. Without losing yourself. When stress or tragedy strikes, most men's first reaction is denial. We tell ourselves it can't be happening, or we try to bargain our way back to normal. But the truth is, reality doesn't wait for your permission. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste yourself in rejection of what you cannot change." Acceptance is not weakness, it is the first step to regaining control. A man who refuses to face the truth stays trapped in an illusion, but a man who looks reality in the eye, no matter how painful, begins the process of freedom. Think of it like standing in a battlefield. You can't fight effectively if you close your eyes and pretend there's no enemy. You must first acknowledge the situation exactly as it is, clear, honest, and unfiltered. Only then can you plan your next move. In relationships, this is especially important when a woman leaves you, betrays you, or when life deals you a heavy loss. You cannot heal by clinging to how things should be. You must stand in the truth of how things are. That's where your strength begins. Acceptance also removes the poison of self-pity. Self-pity whispers, "Why me?" Strength says, "It is me, so now I must rise." Every great man you admire has walked through pain, but what sets them apart is that they didn't let the pain define them, they let it forge them. So when life strikes, don't hide, don't numb yourself, and don't pretend. Stand firm, accept reality fully, and then prepare to act. This is the foundation of a resilient man. If you understand that facing the truth is the first step to power, share your thoughts below. Chapter 2: Mastering your inner response. Once you've accepted reality, the next battle isn't out there, it's inside you. You cannot control what the world throws at you, but you can control how you respond. This is where most men fail. They let emotions drag them into decisions they later regret: anger, despair, desperation. But the Stoics taught that your mind is your fortress, and no tragedy, no stress, no betrayal can breach its walls unless you open the gates yourself. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That's because most of the pain you feel doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the storm you create in your mind afterward. You replay the moment. You overthink what you could have done differently. You picture 100 different worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened. And before you realize it, the weight of your own thoughts crushes you more than the actual tragedy. The solution is discipline over your inner dialogue. You must become the master of what you choose to dwell on. When your mind tries to spiral into chaos, interrupt it. Speak to yourself with authority, the way a general speaks to his soldiers. This is the reality. This is what we will do and we will endure. A practical way to do this is through controlled stillness. The ancients called it meditation, not the New Age trend, but the warrior's meditation, sitting in silence, focusing your breath, and confronting your thoughts until you strip them of their power. 10 minutes of this daily can keep your emotions from controlling you when life explodes unexpectedly. In relationships, this discipline is vital. If a woman disrespects you, cheats on you, or tests your boundaries, your response determines whether she respects you or loses all attraction. If you explode in rage or collapse in sadness, you've shown her that your emotions own you. But if you stay calm, speak firmly, and act decisively, you communicate strength without ever having to shout. Your inner response is also what keeps you from making desperate mistakes in the aftermath of tragedy. How many men have ruined their careers, their health, or their dignity because they made emotional decisions in moments of pain? A disciplined mind prevents that. It gives you a pause, a sacred space between what happens to you and how you choose to react. This is not about becoming a cold, unfeeling stone. It's about mastering your emotions so they serve you instead of sabotage you. A man who controls his inner world walks through fire and comes out cleaner, sharper, and calmer than before. If you know that true strength begins in the mind, leave your mark below. Chapter 3. Turning pain into power. Once you've accepted reality and mastered your inner response, you face a critical choice. Will you allow this tragedy or stress to break you, or will you use it to make yourself stronger? The difference between a defeated man and a great man is simple: what they do with their pain. Most men let pain eat away at them. They hide it, they drink it away, they distract themselves until it swallows their potential whole. But the wise man understands that pain is not just a curse, it is raw material, and what you do with it will determine the rest of your life. The Stoics often compared life's hardships to a blacksmith's forge. In the forge, raw iron is useless, shapeless, dull, and weak. But under fire, under hammer strikes, it becomes a weapon or a tool of great value. The fire does not destroy it, it transforms it. In the same way, your hardships can refine you into a man that no ordinary life could produce. Pain forces you to grow in ways comfort never will. A man who has faced heartbreak, betrayal, or the death of a dream understands himself more deeply than someone who has lived without challenge. Tragedy strips away the ego, it removes false friends, it teaches you who you can truly depend on, and most importantly, it shows you the depths of your own strength. The ancient warriors understood this well. A soldier who has never faced a real battle may look strong in armor, but he is untested. The first clash might break him. But the veteran, the one who has fought in blood, rain, and fear, carries an unshakable calm. He has already faced the worst, and he knows he can survive it. That calm is priceless, and you only earn it by walking through the fire. In modern relationships, pain can either poison you or prepare you. When a woman leaves you, betrays you, or tests your worth, you can either carry bitterness into your future or sharpen your standards. Many men make the mistake of closing their hearts completely, but that is just another form of weakness. It's letting pain control you. Instead, let the lesson guide you. If she showed you her true nature, believe it. If you ignored red flags, acknowledge them. If you gave away your power, take it back. The transformation comes when you turn that pain into fuel. Start training harder, start learning more, build skills, improve your finances, rebuild your body, expand your network. Let the energy you would have wasted in sorrow be poured into building a life so strong that nothing and no one can easily shake it again. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The very thing that hurt you can become the foundation of your greatest achievements if you choose to see it that way. Remember this: life's hardest moments can either leave scars you hide from the world, or they can become the very marks of honor that prove your resilience. Every time you rise from the ashes, you become harder to destroy. And that, my brother, is the essence of a man who cannot be broken. If you believe pain can be the spark for your greatest transformation, make your voice heard below. Chapter 4. Building an Unshakable Legacy. When the storm finally passes, because it always will, you will stand in a moment of silence. The chaos will fade, the voices will quiet, and all that remains will be you. And in that silence, one truth will hit you harder than the tragedy itself. You are not the same man you were before. The question is, did the storm weaken you, or did it forge you? Every tragedy is a test, but it is also an opportunity. Pain does not just come to break you, it comes to shape you. And what you do in the aftermath will either define you as a man people forget, or as a man whose name they speak with respect long after you are gone. The ancients understood that survival was never enough. The Stoics, the samurai, the warriors of every great civilization, they all lived by a code, a set of unshakable principles that guided them through peace and war alike. It was their compass when emotions tried to cloud their judgment. It was their armor against manipulation and weakness. And it was their sword when it was time to act decisively. If you want to truly rise from stress and tragedy, you must build your own code. Without it, you will drift back into comfort, and comfort will make you soft. Without it, the lessons of pain will fade, and when the next storm comes, you will be unprepared. Your code must be clear and lived daily. Honor your word, because a man whose word means nothing will be trusted by no one. Defend your boundaries, because a man who allows constant disrespect will be treated as weak forever. Seek growth over ease, because the path of least resistance will never make you stronger. Control your emotions, because the man who cannot control himself will be controlled by others. Lead by example, because people follow actions more than words. When you live by a code, you are no longer just reacting to life, you are leading your life. You are no longer just surviving, you are building. But here's the truth most men avoid. Your legacy will not be built in your comfortable days. It will be built in the fire. People will not remember you for the times everything went your way. They will remember you for the times everything fell apart, and you still stood tall. In the aftermath of tragedy, you have a choice: to rebuild the same life you had before, or to rebuild something far greater. This is where most men fail. They use their recovery just to get back to normal, but normal is what left them unprepared in the first place. The wise man uses his recovery to become unrecognizable to himself, to others, and even to the version of himself that existed before the storm. And you must understand this. Strength is not only for you. A man's strength is a gift to everyone who depends on him. Your children, your family, your brothers in arms. When they see you stand unshaken, it gives them courage to face their own storms. This is why weakness is dangerous. It spreads. But strength spreads too. When you choose resilience, you give silent permission for others to rise. In relationships, your legacy as a man will determine the quality of the love you attract and the loyalty you keep. Women respect consistency, discipline, and self-control far more than smooth words. A man who has been tested and proven, who carries himself with quiet confidence, who doesn't flinch in crisis, becomes magnetic. He is not easily replaced because strength like his is rare. So how should you deal with stress and tragedy? Not by crawling back to comfort, not by hiding your scars, but by turning those scars into proof of your endurance. Let them remind you of the nights you wanted to quit but didn't. Let them become your badge of honor. You must live so that when the final chapter of your life is written, people will say, "He was a man who could not be broken, a man who faced storms and didn't just survive them, he mastered them, a man who left the world better, stronger, and wiser than he found it." This is the ultimate victory over stress and tragedy. Not that you lived through it, but that you rose so high from it that no one could imagine the man you used to be. If you're ready to rise from the ashes and live as a man whose legacy will outlast him, declare it below. Brother, storms will come. Stress will find you. Tragedy will knock at your door when you least expect it. You can't predict it, and you can't avoid it forever. But you can decide who you will be when it arrives. The man who lives in fear will crumble. The man who lives in excuses will stay broken. But the man who faces pain with courage, controls his mind with discipline, and rebuilds with purpose will rise higher than he ever stood before. Remember, your strength is not built in easy days. It's forged in the nights you thought you couldn't make it, but still did. It's earned in the moments when the world tried to break you and you refused to bend. Carry this with you. Every hardship is not just a wound, it's an invitation to become unshakable. Every loss is a chance to gain wisdom. Every test is a chance to prove to yourself that you are more than what happened to you. Stand tall, lead yourself first, live by your code, and when you've mastered your storms, you'll find that the man you become is worth every battle you had to fight. Until next time, keep walking the path of strength, wisdom, and honor, because that is the way of the Stoic Golden Tribe.